Hey everybody, welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship here with another Velocity Banking video. Yeah, but before we get started, I have this prediction that maybe after 2 to 3 years from now, I'm probably not going to teach this stuff anymore, and I'm probably going to do like the exact opposite, and then just start like a financing company and get into buy now, pay laters and 300% interest payday loans because I'll probably be frustrated that I try to help the people and the people didn't want my help. And I started thinking about this after watching a part of a documentary, The Unhealthiest Restaurant in America. And if you don't know what that restaurant is, it's the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas, the Heart Attack Grill. And you should look at the resume of the dude who started it. Like he started in 2005. I'll play some of the clip, and then you'll know where I'm coming from.
Basso owned 3 different exercise gyms over a 12-year period where he'd advise clients
So he knows. So he went to the dark side. Basically, he went to the dark side.
on their dietary and exercise needs,
Yeah.
as well as on techniques of caloric reduction.
Right.
However,
So basically, he owned a Jenny Craig in 1990. That's a franchise I haven't heard in a long time. I wonder if they still exist. But I know in the 90s, the name Jenny Craig as a weight loss franchise was incredibly popular. October 1990. He owned a Jenny Craig for 3 years.
he felt this was an untruthful line of work, stating, "It's disgusting because you're promising people things that are outside their genetic possibility."
That's right. Yeah. If you're 300 pounds and you eat 7 hamburgers a day, that's genetic, guys. That's just genetic, man. Like that's just the roll of the dice. It's just the way it goes, guys.
Instead of being a slimy,
genetics.
crooked, dishonest peddler of health and fitness services,
Yeah.
I would actually launch a hamburger concept that would be absolutely honest.
smart.
And that's the only guiding principle.
Hey, this is bad for you, and it's gonna kill you.
The first heart attack grill in
I love this guy. It's amazing. He got tired of helping people live, so he decided to kill them instead.
Is that gonna happen to me? I'm like, I'm watching toy videos that are getting unboxing toy videos that are getting billions of views, and then like my pay off 3 houses under 10 years is getting less than 100. Oh man.
Need power?
Dang.
Energizer Max is up to 100% longer lasting.
Hold on.
Arizona featured a front door sign reading,
I will
"Caution, this
kill you."
establishment is bad for your health," before they'd later add cash only because you might die before the check
Oh my god, this is amazing.
clears. Inside, they'd proudly display the catchphrase "Taste worth dying for."
for.
However, the most insane piece of signage was without a doubt this, reading, "Anyone over 350
Oh, they had to see. Look, somebody said it was over 300. Yeah, they had to change that sign because this is America, and so they had to increase it because they probably were starting to lose some money.
pounds eats for free all day, every day, unlimited, with the only rules being no taking food to go, no sharing with others, and does not include beverages."
Oh, that's fucked up. They don't even let you get a drink, man.
What would be the financial equivalent of this? Anyone with under a lower than a 450 credit score, I'll give you a credit card or something like that. But the interest rate is like over 100%, or whatever the payday loan interest rates are. I don't know. I just feel like that's gonna happen to me. Luckily, I don't need to survive financially on this YouTube channel. But I think, if you're an honest businessman and you kind of want to survive in this world and you want to do it through your quote passions, it might lead you to become resentful and bitter. But it's okay. At least today I'm not resentful. But maybe 2 to 3 years from now I will be. I'm like, I've made 10,000 videos and I don't know if you got into debt again. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Velocity banking, what is it? It's a debt payoff strategy where you throw all of your money into debt using something called the line of credit. So income, expenses, checking, savings. So we have our budget here, and then in the expense breakdown, we list every single debt that we have, right? So it's the classic. It's the one I do over and over again, right? Like, you make good money, and then you have all this debt that drains your money. And we have an auto loan, a mortgage, and then, your personal operating expenses that you have to pay for every single month. So we'll say the minimum or the average is 2,100. And let me go ahead and erase this. And then in the Velocity banking side, we assume that we have the same income, right? So I can copy this, and then the same expenses. Okay, I'm gonna copy this, but we're not going to save money. Okay, so this is kind of a mindset shift that we have with regards to our checking and savings account. So how do we treat our checking and savings account? Is it considered to be the final destination of our money, or is it considered just to be a simple middleman where, by the end of the month or the end of the day, the balance of that checking account should be zero because we're dumping all of our money into something called a line of credit. And what we're more concerned about is this cash flow number that the bank will never really focus on or see, right? So this number and this number, even though in the beginning they look exactly the same, um, conceptually they're different. Like if you ever talk about evaluating real estate deals, they always evaluate it in this way rather than in this way. So the and it, again it a lot. I've noticed recently that there's a lot of videos out there of people quitting real estate investing, and I think one of the big reasons why is because it's really hard to survive if in real estate investing in being a landlord if you're thinking of cash flow in terms of just having an extra $200 in your checking and savings left over in your cash flow, right? I don't know if you knew this or not, but the average landlord, or not even the average, the best landlord make an extra $200 a month in cash flow from a rental property, which is effing insane, right? So, anyways, all right. So now we're going to introduce something called a line of credit. So what is a line of credit? Well, basically it's something like this, a financial tool where you could borrow money, pay it back, and then use it over and over again. So this is my $373,500 home equity line of credit. This is a $15,000 home, or not home equity, personal line of credit that I have. So you could borrow money up to a limit whenever you want. It's instantaneous, right? So if I go ahead and click transfer funds, bam, and then the money goes into my checking account. It's so easy. I just can't believe it. It's like those restaurants. No, not the restaurants. Margarine. It's like those old commercials where Fabio used to say, "I can't believe it's not butter," because it was probably crap. No, I'm just kidding. What am I talking about? All right. So, anyways, here we have the signature line of credit, which just means it's unsecured. Anytime you see the word signature, it means unsecured. And then anytime you want to dump money from the line of credit into checking, you just click this, bam, and then you just instantaneously get that money. Okay. All right. So now we're going to assume we have a free and clear line of credit and, no balance. Now here's the unrealistic part about this is that no bank will give you a free and clear line of credit if this is your budget. If you got one penny left over and you have all this debt. And why is that, right? And a lot of people act like I don't know. I don't want to say a lot of people. I think what it is some sort of a knee-jerk reaction where people want to believe that something is possible. I'm telling you it's not. Just as a person who's experienced in the credit game, I'm not like too experienced in the real estate game, maybe about 3 years, but I only got one rental property. I paid off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. And if you don't believe me, I did it in 2024. And then I actually started an Airbnb, right? $5,000 in July, $4,000 August, $4,000 last month. Um, and that's from a single family home that I bought at a $100,000 discount, right? So I feel like I've done a lot of things, but it's not like, oh, I didn't buy 100 houses in a year because that's just kind of not my style. What I like to do is um, buy like one or two houses and then get the most out of that and see what I can learn from that in that short period of time. I like to, if I were to run a restaurant, I wouldn't have 100 items in the menu. I would only have like two, and then try to get the most out of those two items. Because I don't know if you've ever been to a modern restaurant nowadays. Everything, the foods always come out slow. It's confusing. You take forever to decide on a menu, but you go to a place like In-N-Out, they only have like one item on the menu. Every they technically have like three variations of that same item, but it's just a burger, and then the variations of the burger is based on the number of patties and number of cheeses. And it's been more than 10 years since I've been to In-N-Out, but it's kind of like a life lesson that I learned. But that's just me, right? So, anyways, enough babbling. And so the reason I could say that I think I have the credentials in the credit game is that I have over $739,000 in lines of credit. 739, which includes credit cards too. Most people don't, when they hear the word line of credit, they don't associate with the credit card, but a credit card is one form of a line of credit because of the ability to reuse it over and over again, right? I swipe, I pay it back, and then I reuse it over and over again. And then with the home equity or personal line of credit, it's not a swipe. Sometimes you do get cards associated with it, right? But usually it's you going into the bank's website and dumping that money into a checking account. Okay. And I have the main benefit of having a personal line and a home equity line, in addition, because it's not either or, it's in addition to credit cards, is that personal or home equity lines can be used to pay anything. They can usually be pay anything, right? Whereas credit cards, people have trouble paying their loans with credit cards. Although it's possible, it's a little bit hard, and you can't pay, a credit card's bill onto itself, if that makes sense. Like, so if my Discover card is due today and I don't have any cash, well, actually, I could probably just get a cash advance, but that's really expensive, right? But I can't just swipe the credit card onto itself. So I can't like swipe, like how do you want to pay the Discover card? Oh, I'll pay with the Discover card, right? Whereas with the home equity line of credit or personal line of credit, you can do that. Like that's not, illegal, okay? But with a credit card, it's not. And I think the reason why it is possible is because um, home equity lines of credit and personal lines of credit charge you the moment that you use the money, right? So that's why they don't really seem to care that you can pay itself the bills on itself because you're just accruing interest upon interest if you're not dumping money into the line of credit. Whereas credit cards, they have a 1 month floating period, so they can't allow you to pay the card onto itself. And they also have bonus points, so it doesn't make sense to pay bonus points if you're paying the credit card with its own card, if that makes sense, right? So there's a reason why they don't allow that here in the personal credit or the credit cards in general, but they allow them in the lines of credit because I've never seen a line of credit that says, oh, you can get bonuses, right? Like or you don't have to pay if for 1 month if the balance is already cleared in full. It's based on a daily balance, so each tool has its own advantage and disadvantages. I don't like hearing that the line of credit or the home equity or personal line is always better. I always say that everything's a trade-off, right? Including loans and lines. Like you might hear people in the velocity banking space say, "Hey, a loan is always better than a line." I'm sorry, a line is always better than a loan, right? And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. There, in my opinion, you should get what works best for you, and not just blindly say, "Hey, I'm always going to use a line of credit over a loan," right? No, don't do that. Otherwise, you're just accepting dogma and not trying to find the best possible solution for you, right? And what will probably be bad is that if I say this over and over again and nobody listens, I'm probably just going to start a financing company in 2 to 3 years and just say, you know what, F this. I'm getting into subprime loans. Nobody want to listen to me. Unhealthiest restaurant in America, folks. That's how it all started. All right, let me go back here. All right, so let me go back here. So let me tell you why it's unrealistic that you will get $260,000 in lines of credit. Okay, if you have like a penny in your cash flow. The reason is that banks don't lend money to people who need it. They don't lend money to people who need it. And in their traditional risk models, they don't account for velocity banking. So if somebody gave you a line of credit and you were like, it was a lifesaver for you, obviously, you could apply velocity banking, get out of your situation with your same income and expenses. Okay, but the bank doesn't care. In fact, even if the bank sees that you've been doing velocity banking and you try to get financing, they're gonna not just financing. I'm talking about just loans in general. They're probably going to deny you because what velocity banking requires is to not use your checking and savings as a storage vehicle, but instead you're dumping all of your money and whatever money you need for emergencies, you're going to take from the line of credit. Okay, but yes, that's the secret. Banks don't lend money to people who need it because people who need money, just don't pay you back. Okay, so makes sense. Hopefully, when I tell people the secret, I think there's a sense of disappointment and anger that they feel because they were looking for a magic cave with money. But the as a person who has over $739,000 in lines of credit, um, I just applied the secret and I always went to a bank when I didn't need money. Okay? Very important that you go to a bank when you don't need money, not when you do need money, right? Because I learned this a long time ago, and I decided to lend money to someone who needed it. It was only $2,000, but when I back in the day, $2,000 was a lot to me, and that person didn't pay me back after a couple months, and then decided to ask for more money, and then I said, "Oh, I understand why banks are the way that they are." I've always heard that they don't lend money to people who need it, but this is messed up. Like they want me, no regard for what I need, and I was hoping to make some interest. So that's basically the news you didn't want to hear. But yeah. So why do we demonstrate free and clear lines of credit? It's because I'm lazy. And it's kind of like demonstrating what if you had car insurance after you crashed your car without car insurance? That would be a lifesaver, but you probably won't get it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. And yeah, so $260,000 home equity line of credit. So what we do is we're just going to move some debts into that line of credit with using something called the cash flow index. So basically a formula of the balance of your debt divided by the payment. And then it gives you a ranking system, and the lower the number, the more bang you get for your buck for paying off your debt. So the higher the number, the less bang you get for your buck. So you have this $220,000 balance, and this is $927. If you pay $220,000, you'll get $927 back in your cash flow. Whereas here, if I pay 30 grand, I get more than that $927 back in my cash flow. So why would I ever focus on paying off the mortgage first, right? I need this cash flow back, and then once I have the maximum amount cash flow that I from paying off these other debts, then I'll focus on the mortgage or the auto loan, right? So let's go ahead and move this. Yeah, 7, 10, 35, 12, 15. All right, that's $164,000. All right, and then guess what happens just by simply moving the credit card debt, right? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is like a weight loss cheat code, you know? Kind of pun intended. Weight loss cheat code. Actually, you know what though? Like, I kind of disagree with this dude because I feel like if people went on, and again, I'm not giving any medical advice, right? But if people went on like juice cleanses and, ate all organic or grew their own food or whatever, I feel like the weight loss problem in the United States could probably fix itself in like 7 to 10 years. But because everybody I know is too lazy and they kind of prioritize like short-term pleasures over um, short-term pleasures over whatever, you longevity. Um, it's a tough battle, right? It's a tough battle. But yeah, so $1 in savings to $5,100, and $5,110.84 of cash flow. And when I see this, I'm just like, you know, I feel like I need to stop showing this because this is way too dramatic and it's almost like too good to be true. But unlike other people who've shown this, I just use Excel. So you know that when I'm using Excel, like, are you calling Microsoft a liar? You know what I mean? Like, how do you, simple, it's A plus B math, right? Like, this is accounting, I think, or a form of accounting, budgeting. This isn't anything special. But a lot of people don't want to see this because they want to stay in the matrix. Okay, so we have $5,000 of cash flow right here. And then the next step is we put our entire paycheck into the line of credit. So we're going to put that entire $8,000 into the line, take our expenses out, and then rinse and repeat over and over again, right? All of our money is used to attack the debt, and then we're going to take our expenses out of that line of credit, and then the rest I'm sorry, the leftover is going to be our cash flow, right? So here, right, we have an effect called the segregation of income, where if we have all this debt, especially the high interest debt, and we're splitting our money in a gajillion different places, right? This is actually 12 debts, and we put the leftover in checking or savings. That's a no bueno. Okay, so that's going to make things a lot harder. What we're going to do is use every single dollar that we have to attack debt, but in a way that makes it so easy that so if there's some sort of emergency, that we have the ultimate flexibility that we need because we could just pull it out of the line of credit, right? So hopefully that makes sense. All right. If not, then I'm gonna create CAM financing, short-term financing, large loan shark financing. All right, 51084. All right, let me just do this. Okay, so get the next month's balance based on the previous month's balance, previous month's interest, which we calculate the average daily balance, multiply by the interest rate, and then you divide by 12, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste, and then, yeah, copy and paste. And then in 37 months, it's pretty much all paid off, right? So, so now this credit card debt that we were freaking out about, you know, it's not a source of stress anymore, right? So 164K. And obviously there's going to be variations from your budget month to month. I mean, I think next month I'm going to have to pay property taxes on 2 properties. So I think it's probably going to be like 7,000, but it's okay. I mean, if other months I have lower spending, which may not have happened just because I don't know. Well, you got a budget. That's I guess that's the moral of the story. Anyways, we paid off all the credit cards, so we had the auto loan and the mortgage. And then so if we go right here, so I'm just going to go month 30, whoopsie, month 37. So this is the current balance of the auto loan. So you can see right here, this is the auto loan and the mortgage. And then you see the cash flow index right here, and then the current balance. So let's go ahead with this and dump the car loan into the line of credit. So 6869.96. And then, okay, and then this is going to be 0. And then this is going to be $5,420.10 of cash flow. And then you could see, even if we don't increase the cash flow, it just still gets paid off in 1 month. So I don't really have to update this. And then right here is month 38. So 38 months. Okay. All right. So 164 plus 17, so it's 181K. And then the final one is the mortgage. Okay, so what's the current balance of the mortgage right now? So it's month 38. So it's 204,490.70.05, right? So this is a velocity banking calculator that if you just kind of know how to put in the numbers, put your income, expenses, and then something called a chunk amount, which is how much you're moving into a loan from the loan into a line of credit. So one of the things I just want to show you quickly is that some people on the internet advocate just like dumping the entire loan into the line, especially a 30-year mortgage. But take a look at this. This is 26 grand. And if I just do 9,000, then you see that the amount of interest that you pay is greatly reduced. Okay, so where did I get this from? Renatus. If you want more information about Renatus, click the Google form link below. I do make money off of commissions, although I'm thinking maybe I should not and just start a loan chart company and possibly payday loan. I don't know. Anyways, but if you're interested, click the Google form link below, and then you'll find out more information. But you'll see here that it's not the best idea to move the entire loan into a line of credit, right? Now, here's the crazy thing that a lot of people don't understand is that if I use a 30% credit card on this, I'll still pay less than moving this entire loan into an 8% line of credit. Yeah. All right, so 2.9 years. All right, so 2.9 years. So this is 0, and then this is going to be 38 divided by 12 plus 2.9, and then 6.07 years. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So actually, let me take a look at my YouTube channel stats. So give me one moment. Here we go. The last video, and actually let me zoom this up for you, only got about 156 views, right? So 156 views, that's what we got here. And yeah, so I don't know. Good thing I don't I don't depend on money for this channel. Although I do make $144 a month, and I do have pretty decent watch time. I'm just not making Ryan's Ryan's toys unboxing videos level of money, which kind of made me think, huh? Should I really keep doing this? Is this the best use of my time? Let me know in the comments below if I should be a loan shark or a finance doctor. I got two options, right? You know, it's the same thing as the Heart Attack Grill owner. You know, you help people lose weight and they get frustrated, or be or be a junk food dealer, right? So two options, okay? Basically, loan shark or finance doctor. Type in the comments below which one I should become. Let me know, all right? All right, this is Green Atlanta Mentorship. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.